Hi, Internet. Welcome to the Troyan YouTube channel here with another rocker reaction. Today, guess what I'm reacting to? Boom! It's Nightwish, just like I said I would do yesterday. Turns out I didn't lie. So today, I'm reacting to Elvenpath, the first song on the first album. Because on this channel, I have reacted to Tarja's vocals. Or rather, no, I have not reacted to Tarja's vocals. I've reacted to Annette's vocals and Floor's vocals and even Troy's vocals, but I have not reacted to Tarja's vocals on the channel. I reacted to a Tarja era song, Ghost Love Score, but that was the Floor version of the song live. And so I want to represent all the eras of Nightwish on the channel. So I definitely need to do a Floor studio track at some point and also do live versions of all the different singers. But I thought that this would be a cool one to do because, first song on the first album, the opening salvo of the Nightwish catalog, this was the song that, set the template going forward. This was their, initial, like, hey, this is who we are, this is what we represent. And looking at the lyrics, it is incredibly nerdy, but in a fun way. It is so like epic fantasy, and in some ways like a fan fiction, where it's like I'm going to combine Snow White and Lord of the Rings, and all this stuff into one thing. And there's like a Bear King and stuff. So I don't take this one too seriously lyrically, but it seems incredibly fun. So just because I don't necessarily take the lyrics for this piece seriously doesn't mean that I don't like it. It's like this is for me, the way I'm looking at this, like this is going to be hella fun, maybe a little bit silly. But I'm super excited to check it out because, like I said, it's just all these different fantasy elements just like tossed into a pot. And, that's kind of maybe an appropriate way to start, the Nightwish catalog, saying like, look, we're going to cover a bunch of fantasy subject matter. So in terms of lyrical content, the other songs that I've done on this channel have all really impressed me lyrically, in terms of like being like deep and emotional and like having a lot of layers. This, I'm not getting as much with that, but it just, like I said, it seems hella fun, so I'm cool with that. So yeah, this is my first listen to Elvenpath, first song off the first album. Let's do it.
The sheltering shade of the forest, calling calm in silence, accompanied only by the full moon howling of a night wolf, and the bath under my bare feet, the elven bath, the elven
All right, so as someone who is relatively new to the reaction game, I see a lot of reactors on YouTube, and like they have like the big facial expressions, and they like seem to get really into the music that they've never heard before. And there's a part of me that's always like a little bit skeptical of that, and just like, are you really that into what you're hearing? And so like I've always like been like overly cautious of that, and then I realize like when I hear something for the first time and I'm getting like super into it, I'm like, oh, I get it. So I realize like, so that's what's happening to those people when they do their reactions, because that's what's happening to me right now. Yeah, this is freaking awesome. Those like the keyboards at the very beginning, just like holding out those pads, tasty. Like I said, cheesy but freaking rad. Like I love me some cheesy stuff. And then just like that keyboard riff is just so like 80s power metal in an awesome way, where I am fully invested in this fantasy ride that I am on. Like seriously, like I would the prediction I had for the song of being hella fun, like it's more fun than I thought it was going to be, because it has like a really brisk momentum. It's got like a good rocking beat. It's not like it's not so like the drums have enough swing and groove to them where I'm actually fully invested in it, and it's not like because a lot of power metal stuff, I will enjoy it with an asterisk, just like I wish the drums were doing something different. I'm actually not wanting the drums to do anything different. This is completely working for me. I'm enjoying it so much. I'm going to rewind back to the beginning because that was so freaking awesome. So yeah, we're going back to the beginning. This is so good. It's tasty.
The sheltering shade of the forest, calling calm in silence,
And those chimes, yes.
accompanied only by the full moon howling of a night wolf, and the bath under my bare feet.
Yeah, and like the little like xylophone, like I think that's a xylophone melody line. Like, yeah, like the builds, really really awesome.
The Elvenpath, the Elvenpath. Music from the deepest forest, songs as the seduction of sirens. The Elvenpath is calling me. Love me, your beacon, ruler of the forest, near Mickey Blue, look, healer of the innocent. Open the gate and let me follow the uncaring path. To the lands where as a hero I stand. The path where beauty met the beast living path. It's the honesty of these words, ruled by magic and by this wet, that makes my soul long for the past living path.
Yeah, so thus far, I'm digging the instrumentation a lot. Except I wasn't necessarily big on what the drums did during the chorus. To me, I found it like that kind of drumming in a chorus. I find to be uninteresting musically. And it just it just kept doing like the same thing over and over again. Didn't really work for me. And the melody is it's getting used to the different styles of the different singers. Thus far, I think Annette is actually my favorite based upon what I've heard. Um, and so I think that the melody line in this song is maybe stronger than Ghost Love Score, which is what I heard previously. So I mean I heard the live version, but I went back to the studio version. So same era of the band. So I think it's a stronger melody, and so I would say this song thus far, in terms of comparing it to Ghost Love Score, this is I think more fun to listen to. But Ghost Love Score has lyrics that I think are so much like deeper and can make you cry. So comparing the two of them, sort of apples to oranges, you're getting different things out of it. Yeah, I definitely need to listen to some more of this and let it go. Actually, I'm going to rewind just to get that chorus again. Really savor it. Yeah, so I think it actually is a good melody line upon a second listen. It's catchy, it's visceral, and I think maybe the soprano vocals, maybe I would prefer it at a lower octave because maybe I would feel it would grab me more emotionally. Um, and then I think the drumming, because it just sort of keeps that going. I know for a lot of like metal fans, you get pumped up by that, but for me, that actually sucks the energy away from the song because it's not offering something that I find that dynamic and interesting for my taste. I would prefer instead of just keeping that double kick thing going on, doing a more of a rock beat and then having some fills to keep it exciting, to keep it dynamic, instead of just, keeping that thing going. but that is a good chorus. So that's why I wanted to revisit it to see like what parts of it were working for me and what wasn't. And I would say I think the writing is what's working for me, but I think the soprano vocals plus the drums, I think the two of them together hurt the chorus for me. And so if you got rid of one of them, so if you had a more conventional drum pattern, or maybe you lowered the vocals by an octave, or maybe just layered more vocal harmonies and just give it that big gigantic chorus sing along vibe, then I'd probably love it a lot more. And on this first listen, I'm still liking it, but I'm saying that's why it's not a home run for me. It's good, but it's not blowing me away. So that I'm gonna get back to it, but yeah, these riffs are great though.
Long ago, in the early years of the second age, great Elvensmiths forged rings of power. But then the Dark Lord learned the craft of ring making and made the master.
Damn. The so I wasn't really looking at the timer left on the song, and so I was like, it felt like I had like another minute left, and like, oh shoot, it's already over. Um, which is actually a little bit of a good sign because I wanted it to keep going because I was ready for it to move into the next section. So a song that leaves you wanting more is a cool thing, and so this one, I would say it's another good one. And so there's certain parts of it that don't work for me because it's like it's not to my taste. So like that double kick, um, if it goes on for too long, there are songs that have that kind of drum pattern that I like. Don't get me wrong. So I don't hate it in every instance, but for me, my first listen to this song, it diminished the quality of the hook, which to me is unfortunate because I'm all about what's going to work best to bring out the hooks to make the song shine the brightest. And to me, that diminished the song in a way where I think the song could have been better were it not for that. But also, that's you have to consider the era that this was in because this was what their first album, and these kind of drum patterns in power metal were sort of conventional, the norm, and what you would expect to do within the genre. And so, you have to give, a little bit of a pass for like remembering like, what the era was, a young band finding itself, developing its own creativity. And so, sometimes you feel pressure to do what your peers are doing. And, obviously, Nightwish, has become, one of the best bands in the world and has really developed their sound. But, looking at this piece, I would say that the composition is really strong. So the riffs are like, if I had to describe this word and sing the song in a single word, it'd be fun. This is really, really a fun song. The riffs are great. I love like the little harpsichord in the background. So already like there's so many like great elements to this, and like shows a lot of promise. And I think this is the kind of song where I can see myself in the mood to jam to this. And I think the drumming thing, it's just after a few listens, it would just be another part of the song. And the way that like every Nightwish fan like probably knows and loves this one and is probably into that drum part. For me, I would just have to listen to it a few times to get accustomed to it. But, already, like, on the first listen, I got so into the riffs, and got so into, like, the rhythm section during the verses. We're just, like, the bass and drums were really complementing each other really well. And the guitar solo at the end felt like just a really great, awesome solo that I thought was hoping would lead to another chorus, and then just ended the song. And so it left me wanting more, which is a good thing. Like, the solo is great. The riffs are great. The lyrics were maybe not necessarily deep, were really entertaining, and you don't need everything to be deep. Sometimes things can just be fun. So for me, I would say I would not give this an S. I would give it an A, even though I probably like it better than Ghost Love Score. And I would probably revisit this one way more often. Like, this is probably, of the Nightwish songs, I could see this one like being in my rotation quite a bit. And so, while I think the compositional quality is a little bit weaker than some of their other stuff that I've listened to on this channel, it's more fun, and so I want to listen to it more, if that makes sense. So I'm like, I recognize like intellectually, there's other stuff that they've done that is just objectively better in terms of artistic merit, but like this makes me smile, so I'm gonna go back to this one. But yeah, this was very cool, and so now I've addressed all of the singers in the studio except for Floor. So that means I gotta do I gotta do another Floor song. I gotta rap to her in the studio, and then I gotta do live reactions to everyone. And I definitely gotta do a Floor song from her era live, because I did Floor doing a Tarja era song live. So I gotta make sure I do Floor from her era, Tarja from her era, Annette from her era. I got to make sure I react to all of them in the live context, which I will do. So make sure you do the liking, do the commenting, and subscribe, so that way when I do another Nightwish reaction, you don't miss it. But yeah, that's the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good one.